Hey, Janet Beckers here, and how are you? I ask you for a reason because I want to know, how are you feeling when it comes to getting stuff done in your business? Do you feel stressed? Do you feel in control? Do you feel as if everybody else seems to be getting stuff done and be doing it in a really efficient and practical and powerful way? And sometimes you just feel like you're always chasing your tail. Well, if any of that sounds like you, today I'm hoping that I will give you a system that is going to allow you to feel calm and in control, and that it's okay. Everything is working to plan. So that's what I'm going to introduce you to, the system that I use in my own business that has totally revolutionized how effective I can be. And it's the exact same system that I use with my accelerator clients, and I'll show you how I do that or how they use it, because it's the system that allows them to be able to focus and get so much more done. So to help you with this, I've also got a free downloadable for you. I have got for you the exact summary document, the one-page plan that I use in my own business, my accelerator clients use, and we use this as our actual working document for every single thing we do together. And it's one that my Attract Your Tribe clients have and my Clear Time clients have. It's the one that we use to get our stuff done. So if you would like to grab my one-page 90-day plan sheet, just go over to wherever you're watching this. You can find it in two ways. Number one, wherever you're watching this or listening to this, if there is somewhere where you can just private message me, just do that and I'll send you the link, okay? Otherwise, go to the website where this is held, so romanceyourtribe.com, go to the podcast page and it's got a link there for you to be able to get your downloadable. So number one, make sure you do that, because this is a one-page document that I have refined over years, keep on tweaking it, and it works so smoothly. So when I say that I use it in my own business, I do. In fact, I've just finished doing my 90-day plan and end up with this one-page document that I use to do everything in our business. So I'm going to run you through that. And so you also know I'm going to do another free training. I'll be doing it live and I'll do it over on Facebook. And so make sure that you're on my mailing list, because that's where I will let you know when and where it's going to be, or that you're also following me over on Facebook at Janet Beckers Author, because I'll actually run through how do you use this document. So we'll go into more detail over there and I can answer your questions. So let's get started. Now, if you are watching this on the video, I'm just going to hold up here for you so you can see. This is what the summary sheet looks like. Really simple one-pager, and what I do is I print it out. I have it next to my computer. We also have created graphics that we use so that you can actually fill in the summary parts of that, and you can actually use it as a screensaver. Thank you to one of our members, Jackie Kieslake. She created it for herself and shared it, and I thought it was so fantastic that we asked her if it was all right if we brand it ourselves, so we've got some cool colors, and all of our clients can actually use that for themselves. So we give it to them over on as a Canva template so that they can actually have that there in front of them. So so that's what it looks like. So I'm just going to walk you through why this matters anyway. So if you're like most people in business, you will set some big goals. You know what you want to achieve. You've got your vision. And a really typical thing to do is to do something over 12 months. And in fact, this is something that we do every year. I also guide you through the whole process that I've been doing for 12 years now, where I set 12-month goals, not just for my business, but with our whole family. for things that we really want to do, things that are important. And it's really great to have those big plans. In your business, it's great to have that 12-month plan. So you know, like, when am I going to be doing some big launches if that's the way you work? If I'm going to run an event, when do I do it? What's going to be my big goals? What am I going to grow in the business? You need to have those. But have you found that sometimes you'll have, this is what can happen when you just set like a 12-month goal. One thing, sometimes it can seem really overwhelming because you can think, whoa, this is a big thing I've got to get done because I've set myself this huge goal. It can get really overwhelming because you're always looking towards that big goal. That's one part of it. Another thing that can really happen is procrastination can set in because you've got this big goal, but it's quite a long way away. So you go, I didn't get that done today, so I'll just get it done tomorrow. That's all right, I've got a while. I can get all of this done. Hands up, that is me, baby. That's always what I will tend to do. And so I know that I need to create some sort of structure around it because otherwise I can kind of get a little bit too relaxed. Not a good thing to do because it also, if you're like me, you may be a person that works really well under deadlines. So you find that if your deadline is too far away, that because you've got this big picture, that what you end up doing is, you start sabotaging. You without even realize doing what you're doing, you will put those little things off. So it forces you into having a deadline that you've got to rush towards. Now, I recognize this about myself because I'm a person who works really well under pressure. And I found that I was actually subconsciously creating that pressure. That is not a great way to do things because it means that you're really having puts a lot of stress into your life, and also you don't get things done as well. So what I do with the plan here is I create artificial big pressure deadlines so that I can make the most of what I'm going to do naturally anyway. So that can be another problem. You can end up causing a lot of stress and you may not even realize why you're doing it. If that sounds like something you do, just know that you may be like me, that you work well under stress. So you subconsciously create those circumstances to work well in those ways. Now, the other thing that can go wrong with setting these long-term goals, and when I say long-term, I mean, they might be 6 months, 12 months away, is things change. Now, at the time of recording this, we are smack bang. Well, I don't know if we're in the middle, the end, or what it is of the corona crisis. It's been going for 6 months that we have been in this lockdown period. So, you look back, and I actually look back at what I said at the beginning of the year as my plans, and I just laugh. I really do laugh. Because for me, I set myself that this was the year that I was going to run a really fantastic conference, an offline event. I had this vision of what it was going to look like, the things that I had to get done in order to make that happen. That was going to be my number one goal for this year. Well, I tell you what, lucky I didn't set it to be the goal for the middle of the year. Otherwise, I would have had to have cancelled everything if I had been that far prepared, because we can't have those conferences. So as an example, hey, things change. You need to be able to adapt. And if you're just locked into doing things on a long term, sometimes it can be very difficult to adapt because you can't see how easily to turn that big truck around that is going in one direction. Much easier if you can just move a smaller car or a bike. And that's as far as I'm going with that analogy, okay? So this is the thing that, can be the big problem. Now, the other problem is you may just set your goals, but they're more of dreams. So you've got this dream of, hey, I'm going to have a list of whatever your number is. I'm going to have an email list of 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, whatever it is that's your next big one. I'm going to have that email list, but how are you going to get there? You haven't really worked out exactly how you're going to do that. Or, hey, I'm going to make $1 million business this year. How am I going to do it? Well, I may not have actually worked out to detail how I'm going to do it. I've just got this big goal. So if that sounds like you, just know that you are really, really normal. But hey, that's going to stop. Because what happens then is, that whole thing of, if you're a dream, a goal without a deadline and a plan is just a dream. So we're not going to be doing that. So these are the big problems that can happen. So how do you make it so that you can still keep that dream? So you're still being inspired by the big vision, but you're actually going to get things done. You're not going to procrastinate. You're not going to create stress as you get closer to a deadline, and then you've got to just go crazy and work ridiculous hours to get it done. How do you actually find that nice space between keeping that vision, keeping that inspiration, getting stuff done, not being stressed, but also actually getting some accountability and the practicalities happening? Enter the 90-day plan. Now, this is not new. I did not invent the 90-day plan. But what I have done is I started a few years ago very strategically implementing the 90-day plan as my core way of working in my business. Now, I want to really give a big shout out to a friend of mine, Todd Herman. I'll put links to Todd's, where you can go and find Todd. He does the 90-day year. He's done so many things, but I love his way of teaching and to create systems around what you do. So he's the person who really does this stuff exceptionally well. So go and check out Todd. So I was using 90-day plans before I met Todd, before I did any programs, but I learned a lot through those. And so big shout out to Todd. But what I'm mentioning here is the 90-day plan. Now, why do you want a 90-day plan? Well, for quite a few reasons. Number one is it allows you to be able to really, really focus on the most important thing and to actually have a plan around 90 days. Now, 90 days is enough time for you to be able to have the concept, to be able to plan, be able to achieve, and to be able to complete, and then review. Most projects can be done in a 90-day period. Now, of course, some of those are going to take a lot longer, but you can normally break those really big things down into other separate 90 days. So it's a really, really good time frame to be able to get things done. It's 12 weeks. It's 3 months, 90 days. When you think about 90 days, that's actually a lot shorter, especially once you're going to be putting in there that you have weekends, okay? So it's a lot less days for you to be able to work on your business. It's a nice reality check. The nice part about working in a 90-day cycle, and I'm going to go over what you need to include, okay? So I'm going to go over what we do that ends up with our summary. So I'll teach you that in a moment. But the reason why you want to be doing this is for a few reasons. Once you've got that 90-day plan, it allows you to be able to communicate with other people. So if you have an assistant, if you have staff that you work with, if you have a family that you're trying to communicate with about why I'm doing what I'm doing and how you can help me and when's it going to finish so that you can have me back, when you can have my attention because I'm focusing on this, it allows you to communicate with everybody else that is involved in your life and in your business, because the people can see, this is what you're doing, this is what we're working for, this is what is needed in order to make this happen. So it allows you to communicate effectively as the CEO of your business. Even if you are the only person in it, it allows you to act as the CEO. The other thing that allows you to do is it allows you to be able to see what resources are needed, what help you are going to need in order to make this happen. Not when you get to the point where you're going, bugger, I've got no idea how to do that, or that's difficult, or I need to find somebody who can do it for me. You can be organized and know ahead of time so you can make sure that those resources are there when you need them. It allows you to be able to have accountability, because you can't be accountable to yourself. You can't be accountable to other people in your business. You can't be accountable to a mastermind group. You can't be accountable to a coach or a mentor if you don't know what it is that you're saying that you're going to do. So this acts as an exceptionally powerful accountability tool. which is why I use this as the core part of me working with my accelerator clients. We do our 90-day plan. We both have a copy, and everything comes back to the thing that you're worrying about at the moment. Is it part of the 90-day plan? The thing you're struggling with, 90-day plan. You're not quite sure where to go, 90-day plan. So it allows you to have that accountability. It allows you to be able to seek out help and know what you do need the help with. And now here is another really important thing. It stops you from getting distracted about other things that seem important. It allows you to put boundaries in place around your time and around your energy. It allows you to put boundaries around where your attention goes. And it allows you to say no. Because if something comes along and it is not in the 90-day plan, you really need to assess, am I willing to change the 90-day plan because this thing here is so important, so attractive? Or am I going to go, no, this doesn't fit in now. Let's revisit that for the next 90-day plan. Or it allows you to see, whoa, that so fits in with this. This is a hell yeah, because that is definitely going to support what my plan is. You can see how it just puts you in control of your overwhelming list of things that seem important for you to be able to do in your business. It allows you to minimize, and it allows you to minimize your stress. So that's why the 90-day plan works so well. Now, over time, I've been really able to refine this system so that it all comes down to this one page. And in fact, one simple graphic that you can be using that you can just use as a screensaver. You can put it on your phone. That's what I do, so that I've got a constant reminder. So let's go over what's actually in the 90-day summary sheet. Now, to do this, there is a whole process that I work my clients through, and we have a whole process then for making sure that what goes into that 90-day summary is the most important thing, and that it actually fits in with what's going to move the needle the most in your business. So there's a process that we go through to do that, and I have templates, worksheets, and all of those sorts of things that I work with my accelerator clients, and also with my Attract Your Tribe program, that people have access to be able to work through those themselves. So there is a process that goes to this, but what you will end up with is this one page that you can summarize. So let's go over what is in that. The most important thing to start with, and I'm going to refer here to my sheet, and know that I'm actually going to be running this live training over on Facebook Live. It'll be just a few days after this goes live. So, and we'll also put the link to the recording of that so that you've got access to that if you're going over here later on and you can't be there live. So don't worry, I'll have that there for you. We'll go into more depth. But also I've got this sheet for you. So remember, I've got this as a downloadable for you. It's totally free. It's there on the podcast page with you. So you can get a copy of this 90-day summary sheet that you can fill out, okay? So you can use this yourself. So I'm going to go through what we actually have as the main fields on here. The most important thing you want to do is you need to have been through a process so you know what is your main thing that you need to be focusing on. What is the big gap that you have in your business that if you can plug that is going to make the biggest difference. Now, I have a process for this. It is the business wheel of life. There are 6 areas, and each of those break down into 2 core areas. So all in up, there are 12 different things that you can be looking at, and quite often in that there's really only about 3 areas that I've found over all of this time. If we can fix any holes in 3 main areas, that is very often enough that is what's going to make the biggest difference in your business. So take that time to work logically through that process so you know exactly what's going to move the needle the most in your business. That's what you want to focus on. Everything else can worry till later, okay? That's what's important. So you need to make that decision first. So that's not something that we can just do in a simple podcast. I've got training coming up all about that business wheel so that you can actually diagnose what are the core areas. We can actually get that done through that training. I'll have links here so that you can actually register and go to that training. And in an hour, you'll have a pretty good idea about what's the most important thing for you. So it doesn't have to take months to do this. Ain't nobody got time for that. So first of all, before you come to this, you will have done the process, and the business wheel of life is a great tool to be able to use. So you know what is most important, and we're going to work out within that field, like what is actually going to make the difference. So you need to know what your number one priority is. Now, of course, it doesn't mean everything else in your business gets forgotten. For example, you might have worked out, you know what? I need to have a really good process to be able to sell. It might turn out that the thing that's missing in your business is a way of actually making the sales, whether it's sales letters, a webinar process, getting on the phone, whatever it is. You're missing that piece. So that's going to be your number one focus. Doesn't mean that you don't now focus still on any content creation, that you're not going to be focusing on servicing your clients or managing the books. Of course, life goes on, but this is the main thing where your project time is going. Okay, so you need to know that first. So now we're going to look at what can be done in a 90-day period. So we're going to look at that 90 days, and the summary sheet that I have here is we then break that down. If you know what you're going to be achieving in 3 months, we work out what are the core big steps that you need to take. We're not going to look at all of the little tiny steps. What we're going to look at, if this needs to happen in 3 months, all right, let's see if we can break that down into 3 parts. So you can go, all right, this is what needs to happen in the first 30 days. When that's done, then this is what happens in the next 30, and this is the final 30. So we're going to break it down into 3, because that then allows you to have a monthly goal. What have I got to get done in that month? Now, once you've done that, then you can break that down into what have you got to get done each week. Todd has a great system, Todd Herman, I mentioned him before, where he does 2-week sprints. And he has a whole system around that as well. If you just want to keep it simple, if this is what's got to get done in this first 30 days, let's break it into 4. What have I got to get done this week? Then it allows you every single week to look and go, all right, what have I got to get done each day? You can see we're just breaking it down. This is not rocket science, is it? But the reality of making it happen is very, very different. So in our plan, what we do then is we've just then got this 1-pager. Okay, and you will know exactly at the top what is my number 1 goal, and you may have a secondary goal that fits into that may be a small thing that's got to do with your overall vision, but you're really focusing on one major goal. What is that going to be? So you'll know what is my overall goal. You'll know what your goal's going to be every month. Now, this is where it comes to actually making a difference. Once you know what your goal is, there's things that you have to ask yourself. Okay, what is my goal? So, for example, we might have put down, all right, if we're going to be looking at putting in the sales system. So it might be, okay, I'm going to have I'm going to have a webinar that sells people into whatever I've got. So it might be, all right, so by step number 1, by the end of the first month, I will have actually worked backwards. If I'm going to sell people, well, I've got my sales process. All right, so I've got my sales letter done, and I've got a way to take the money. There's no use running that webinar if you haven't got a way to actually do it. So that might be what you're going to do in the first month. You're just going to focus on that, okay? So that might be your number 1 thing. Then, so if that's going to be for your first month, you might go, okay, that's going to be my goal. All right. So if you've got your goal, what actions do you need to take? So if you've got your actions, all right, what actions do I need to take? All right, I need to do some research so I know What are the frustrations that people have got? What's the language that they use? Maybe I need to interview some different people who are potential clients or past clients so I can really get inside their minds. So I can do a great sales letter. That might be one of them. So I'm going to do some research. I'm going to do a draft. Or it might be, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to hire a copywriter, whatever it's going to be. It might be, I need to get a template because how do I do a sales letter? I've got you covered there, baby. So that's core to what I have in my Attract Your Tribe program, always templates. And my accelerators have those. So that's one of the things that, just send me a message if you want to find out more about that. So that might be one of the things that you've got to do. So you've worked out your actions here. What are you going to actually have to do? You might need to get some graphics done. So again, get some graphics done. So you can see your actions are actually breaking down into those small things. Now, how do you know you succeeded? So I work with my clients and with my team, with myself, on what we call good, better, best goals. I'll put a link here on the podcast page to an episode that I have done on good, better, best. But just understand it that good means that you're going to be happy. That's been a good result. Better, happy dance. Best, holy heck, who do I get to tell about this? Let's call Oprah. So if we work it in that way, where people quite often go wrong is they will set themselves, this is my goal, this is how I know I succeeded, but it actually doesn't relate to the actions they've taken. At the moment, if you've put down how much money you're making, but you haven't even finished the process yet, well, that's just going to be setting yourself up to feel as if this didn't work. It's because you're only at this process doing the research and doing the sales letter. So good, better, best, it might be, how many people have I interviewed for the research? It might be how many, good, better, best. Good might be I've got all of the sales copy done. Best might be I have got everything set up and all of the graphics done and it is looking Mickey Mouse. Whatever it's going to be for you. So that's what you're going to have. Have them, so make sure that those goals actually relate to the actions that you've taken. Otherwise, you're not, you're just keeping that, you're not actually being practical. You're not going to be able to measure the effectiveness of your actions. You're just adding in a dream there, and that's just going to make you seem like you're a failure, okay? And because celebration is absolutely core to everything that I do with my clients and with myself, you've got to make sure what's your rewards. You actually have these in your plan and you have them there. How will I celebrate? Okay. And I always put, how am I going to celebrate if I get good, better, best? So how are you going to celebrate? And that could be just as simple as, I'm going to go for a bushwalk, or I'm going to go and have a massage. Whatever it is, the way that you're going to reward yourself, it doesn't have to be ridiculous. Or it could be, hey, I'm going to go and buy that beautiful thing that I've been wanting to get. That's going to be my reward. But make sure that you put it in there, because those rewards are really important to force you to acknowledge that you have achieved. Because as entrepreneurs, we are always looking at what comes next, and we don't take that time. If you don't give yourself that positive reinforcement, you're not actually setting up that kind, you're not playing with your own mindset of, oh, got a reward, now I want to work harder on the next thing. So really important to actually use those celebrations. And again, I'll put a link there to share with you how it's a really special technique that I use called the celebration box. And we're going to dip into the celebration box. So I'll have a link there on the strategy that I used to actually celebrate and choose the things that I'm going to be using to celebrate. It's a really, really cool and powerful tool. So I've got a few resources there for you so far. I've got one there that's going to talk to you about good, better, best goals. I've got another one there that is going to show you some really clever ways to be able to cook in celebration into what you do. And I've also, of course, got this free downloadable for you. So this is just going over what you need to include in your summary plan. So now there's a few things that you may be thinking. And these are really common problems that people have once they start implementing using this system. So first of all, this only has to be done 4 times a year. All right? So just take the time to do it properly. But these are the things that I find that people will say. So number 1 is, how do I know how long it's going to take me to get things done? Now, this might sound like a really dumb question, but this is one of the core things that I help my clients with. Because if you have, say, for example, going back to the example that I've used of setting up a sales system within your business, which may very well be a webinar leading to a sales page. How long does it take to make a sales letter? How long does it take to do the research? How long does it take to write one? How long does it take to put the technology together? How long does it take to get graphics done? How long does it take to do a slide deck for a webinar? How long does it take for me to run a webinar? How long does it take for me to get people to actually subscribe and get on the webinar? If you've never done any of this stuff before, it's a tough gig to know how long it's going to take, because honestly, if you're following people that sell you a course on, say, this is how you do that process, very often the messages that you get are, hey, you can get this done in a weekend. Those sorts of things can lead you up to getting really confused when you're getting somebody else who's talked about it and they said, I've been working on this as part of my 90-day plan. Which one is it, a weekend or 90 days? So that's where it can be really difficult. So don't beat yourself up about that. It will really help you by doing the plan to actually work out and break out into those steps. That's why when I work with my clients at the accelerator level, we go over exactly what they've got to get done. Every single thing that I work with my clients on, I've done myself, and I've done them with other people. So I've got a real reality check on how long it will take. But we also need a reality check on what's happening in your own life, because 90 days working on this project does not mean you've got 90 days to work on it. You've got other things happening. So we actually work out how many hours per week you actually have to focus, so we know what you can get done. So that's the reality check. You've got to, if you're not sure how long things take, you've got to take that time to either get a coach, a mentor, buy a course, do the research, ask around, find out what steps are involved so you know you can calculate, okay? So that's what you've got to do if you've never done it before, and then always add extra time, because we always we always overestimate what we're capable of in that short term. So always add in that little of extra time. What if you're starting to do it and then you realize it's 1 month in and I haven't even done what I said I was going to do in this first month? That's okay. This is an opportunity for you to review and have a look and go, okay, why did that take so? What took so long? So it allows you to be able to stop because you've already got your 30-day goal. If you hadn't have taken this time to do this, you wouldn't get to that 30-day goal and know, I'm running behind, because you would just be working towards, a goal that you've set at a particular time. If you haven't broken it down like this, you won't know that you're behind. So it allows you to review and go, okay, why? Was it because I really didn't know, I underestimated the resources that I was going to need, or the help that I needed, or what the steps were? That's okay. If you've underestimated, you can now go and review, and you may need to change your goal. You may need to change what you've got to do. It may be, I totally underestimated the actual number of hours that I have to do. I forgot, or I really, trivialized how much time goes into all these other things, or looking after existing clients, running a family, having a life, all those sorts of things. It may have also come down to, you might recognize that there are other things that you need to work on. This is one of the things that I recognized about a year ago, when I thought, my energy's dropping. I'm needing naps of an afternoon. My productivity time as well as my energy has really dropped. Why is that so? Well, I went and got a personal trainer and I got fit. I thought I was fairly fit before, but I got fit, and no afternoon naps needed. So that could be that, all right, I need to have a look at my own energy. Okay. So that's okay. If things aren't going to plan, now you know, and now you can evaluate why. Or it may just be that you just haven't done the work. Okay, baby, you've been slacking off. Face that one as well. And what can you do about that? Set a commitment, get accountability, get your coach, get your mentor, find your mastermind group, whatever it is that you need to do, because you've already identified this is the problem I've got, and you know, because you've already got it written in your 1-page summary plan. Okay. All right. So what happens next? So let me just give a quick review here. The whole idea of a 90-day plan is not rocket science. Hopefully you will understand the importance of why a 90-day plan really does work and what goes into a 90-day plan. We've gone over the summary, and honestly, working towards this 1-page summary is the most powerful thing that you can do. If you're not sure what is the number one thing that you need to be focusing on that's going to move the needle the most in your business, I have free training coming up that is on the most powerful tool that I've got. This is a tool that I have developed myself, that I use with my clients, with my accelerator clients, and it's the business wheel of life. And I'll be able to show you in a 1-hour training what's involved, and you may very well be able to diagnose the number one thing that's going to move the needle the most in your business. Make sure you're doing this in a way that is really strategic. So we've got that. Then we've been able to work on your 90-day plan, really bringing things down so that you have your goals, you have your actions, and you know that your goals to achieve every 30 days and what's there for your 90 days, that they are actually really tied to the actions, that they are measurable as a result directly of the actions. We've got that, and we've also baked in celebration. Once you've got this 90-day plan is absolutely the thing that rules and guides your life in your business for the next 3 months. So if you want help with that, I've got that free training coming up for you. We're also going to dive in a little bit deeper as with another free training that I'll do on Facebook Live, so you can come along to that. And I've also got this downloadable for you, so you can actually have a copy of the summary sheet that I use in my own business, my clients use, and that it is the result of all of the processes we do to make sure that 90-day plan rocks, baby. So if you'd like some help, just send me a message. We've got that free training, the free resources. If you really want to have that accountability and you want somebody who's going to do that plan with you, give you the reality check of what is possible, the resources on how to make it happen, the weekly live check-ins, and then also every single day to be there working with you on that, well, then you can come and work with me in my accelerator program. So at the time of recording this, we will be opening up for just 10 people, 9 people. We've already had somebody who's got in early. So 9 people will be opening up those doors in just a few weeks, but you can drop me a message and let me know if you're interested. That's the way that I work the closest with you, and we work really personally. And I'll be reviewing all the different stuff that you're doing in your 90-day plan every single week. So you know that you are on track. You are going to get that stuff done, baby. Okay, so if you'd like some help with that, that's how I can help you. And if also you'd like to know about the more training so that you can do this yourself and get guided through it, just drop us a message. And if the doors to the Attract Your Tribe program or the Clear Time program aren't open yet, drop us a message and we'll let you know on how you can get, when you can get access to those resources. Okay, so that's how I can help you. There are so many ways that I've got there for you. The first one to do is start with just getting that 1-page document, that summary sheet, that template that you can use yourself. And I would like to hear from you. So if you have taken action on what you're doing, why not take a photo of your 90-day plan and send it through to me? If you do that, I will give you a shout out on social media and share that around. shine the light on you as an action taker. So, or just drop me a message, okay, and let me know, because there is nothing more rewarding than to know that the time that I've taken to do this, that you have then taken the time to implement. Okay, go get them, folks. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, I would really be very grateful if you would leave a review and a rating over on iTunes or wherever it is that you like to listen to your podcasts. Really would appreciate that. That helps me to reach more people and to be able to have a greater impact. That's what I'm here for. And for you, go get them, folks. I really want to see what action you take, and pass this on to your friends that will also benefit. You may be able to get together with them, and together you can be creating your 90-day plans as your own little working party. Okay, bye.